Imagine hiking into the Colorado mountains with your closest friends. You set up camp, cook dinner, laugh, and write in your journal. Everything feels normal. But by morning, you and everyone with you are gone. Not a single footprint. Not a single trace. That's exactly what happened on Horseshoe Ridge in 1985, when 5 hikers vanished without warning. Search teams found nothing. Families waited decades for answers. And then, 40 years later, something impossible happened. Their tent came back. Perfectly intact. As if it had never aged a single day, the night was cold and silent. The stars hung over the jagged spine of Colorado's Horseshoe Ridge, a remote place known for sudden storms and treacherous cliffs. On the evening of October 12, 1985, 5 hikers set up camp on a narrow plateau. They were friends in their mid-20s, experienced enough to handle rough terrain but still young enough to seek thrill in the wild. They pitched a large canvas tent, lit a small stove, and wrote in their journals about the beauty of the high country. None of them were ever seen again. The group consisted of 2 men and 3 women. Their names were David Ross, a college geology student, Claire Henderson, a nurse, Mark and Jennifer Stevens, a newly married couple, and Linda Chen, a photographer. They had planned a 4-day trek to study old mining trails and take pictures of the fall colors. They told their families they would be back in Denver by Monday evening. When Monday came, no one returned. At first, relatives assumed the group had been delayed by weather. By Wednesday, concern turned into alarm. A search team was dispatched. Helicopters scanned the ridge. Rangers traced the trailhead. After a week, rescuers found nothing: no backpacks, no tracks, no scraps of food, no sign of struggle. It was as if the hikers had vanished into thin air. The official search lasted 3 weeks. Snowstorms buried the slopes. The case became another tragic mystery of the Rockies. Families grieved without closure. Over the years, rumors grew. Some claimed the hikers fell into a hidden crevasse. Others whispered about old mining shafts swallowing them whole. A few blamed wildlife or even foul play. But without evidence, the disappearance faded from headlines. Still, locals remembered. Horseshoe Ridge became a place of whispered warnings. Experienced climbers said compasses behaved strangely there, that winds shifted without reason, and that electronics failed for no clear cause. Yet no one could connect these stories to the missing hikers. For 40 years, the mystery lay buried beneath snow and silence. In the summer of 2025, a group of climbers set out to map Horseshoe Ridge with new drone technology. They were researchers from a university project studying geological shifts in the Rockies. On July 8, a drone camera spotted something unusual on a shelf of rock nearly impossible to reach by foot. From the air, it looked like a pale square. At first, the team thought it was trash. When they zoomed in, they realized it was a tent. Excitement turned to shock when the climbers rappelled down and saw the object up close. It was a canvas tent, perfectly intact, with ropes tied tight to iron stakes. The fabric had no rips, no mold, no fading. It looked as if it had been placed there yesterday. The style, however, matched outdoor gear from the 1980s. And inside, they found sleeping bags neatly rolled, a lantern, notebooks, and cooking utensils. All appeared brand new, untouched by time. Authorities were called. The site was sealed off. When the sheriff's department examined the tent, they confirmed what the labels revealed: the gear was manufactured in 1984. Handwritten journals inside belonged to the missing hikers. The last entries were dated October 12, 1985. Words described setting up camp, boiling water, and planning a short hike the next morning. There were no signs of panic, no warnings, no farewell notes. Everything froze at that date. Experts were baffled. Items left in the mountains for decades should show decay. Fabric should rot, metal should rust, paper should crumble. Instead, the tent looked preserved as if time skipped over it. Scientists tested fibers of the fabric. No weathering. No UV damage. No fungal growth. As one analyst said, it's as if this tent spent the last 40 years indoors, then was dropped here overnight. The mystery deepened when investigators checked satellite images of the ridge taken over the past 20 years. In no image did the tent appear. Only in July 2025 did it suddenly show up. Families of the hikers, many now elderly, were contacted. Tears flowed as they saw handwriting of loved ones they had lost 4 decades ago. Yet the discovery raised more questions than it answered. Where had the hikers gone? Why had only the tent returned? And how could it remain untouched by time? The tent's reappearance triggered debate worldwide. News outlets called it one of the strangest outdoor mysteries in modern history. Social media spread wild theories. Some insisted it was a hoax, though forensic testing proved authenticity. Others suggested the hikers stumbled into a hidden cave system or even a time anomaly. Several leading theories emerged: geological concealment. Some experts argued that a rockslide or shifting snowpack buried the tent for decades, preserving it in ice, then released it in 2025. Yet this did not explain the lack of weather damage or why the tent appeared fully pitched and clean. Human intervention. Others speculated that someone had discovered the gear years ago, kept it hidden, then returned it. But this theory collapsed when tests showed the tent had no dust, mildew, or signs of storage. Every item radiated freshness, unknown natural phenomenon. A few scientists entertained the idea of extreme preservation caused by microclimate conditions unique to Horseshoe Ridge. However, they admitted they had never seen anything like it elsewhere. Time displacement. The most controversial theory suggested that the hikers, or at least their belongings, slipped out of normal time flow. Supporters pointed to strange compass and electronic failures reported on the ridge. Critics dismissed this as science fiction. The case remains unsolved. What is clear is that 5 lives vanished, and only their camp returned. Their bodies have never been found. Their families, though grateful for a piece of closure, still carry the weight of unanswered questions. Today, Horseshoe Ridge has become a destination for hikers, filmmakers, and paranormal investigators. Signs now warn visitors about dangerous conditions. Rangers urge respect for the mountain and the lives lost there. Each year, families of the missing hikers hike to the trailhead and place flowers. They say the tent is both a gift and a wound, a reminder of adventure cut short. As of now, the mystery stands as one of the most haunting outdoor disappearances in American history. 40 years later, the ridge has given back only silence and a single tent, leaving us to wonder if the mountain holds the rest of the story still hidden within its cold stone.